Hello, sir. Your screen sharing has been stopped, sir.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir. Sir, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, fine. So this is what I just wanted you all to. Sorry, there was an interruption in between. This is what we were discussing about. Let us take an example. It's an example of a hospital where patients or the relatives of the patient are standing in the queue, and we can see some frustration in on their faces, right? So are we can we or can we capture their pain points? So if I take it as an example to solve using design thinking principles, the first thing I need to do is to understand their pain points. So then convert that into an opportunity to improve their experience or create a healthy atmosphere at the hospital, at the registration counter. Is it possible? Can you just take 2 minutes of yours and then type in the chat box what would be the pain points you see from the sufferer's angle, not from your angle. You have to place yourself in the shoes of the people, because this situation is not new to you, right? Can you do that? Can you just type in your chat box Or else you can do one more thing. You can keep your list ready. You can WhatsApp us later. Okay, this is the way how we should really look at it. Today's session, I would like to take you only through expose you to a lot of situations where the innovation, critical thinking, and also the design thinking would work. See, let us take up the examples where we can really apply this. One example under education, improve the basic knowledge of mathematics of students of rural schools. Let us take this and try to understand empathetically what would be the pain points of the students who would really face this problem. If their basic concepts of mathematics are not properly being taught, they will face a lot of problems when they go to their higher classes, right? So how to improve the basic knowledge of mathematics of students in rural schools. This is a classic example which fits into the framework of design thinking, right? So if I take one more example, environmental angle, how to decrease the usage of plastics by people, right? Encourage people on digital mode of transaction, how I can prepare the people to get into more use for more usage of the digital mode of transaction. See, walking support for person with cerebral palsy. I can design a classroom delivery to improve students' classroom participation. Right, I can prepare a lot of models and then create interest in them. See, this is sixth one is interesting, attracting kids to schools. Case of KG going kids here, all these projects what I'm now sharing with you all done by our students, right? Here for the sixth one, attracting kids to the schools, it was the problem in fact raised by some of the parents when we were in search of or during the societal study. The parents said that our kids find hardly any interest to go to the school. It is very difficult to take them to the school. So the students designed a very attractive, what I say, the entrance, wherein when students come, they look from the outside itself that there are some alphabets being put on the floor, and there are certain games that are available in the ground, right? And the gate itself is so attractive that there's a Disney is there, somebody is in some attire wherein they can welcome the students with lot of smile, and that made students, kids rather, to get attracted to school. They change the entire environment of the school. Then see, improve the civic awareness amongst the people on parking rules. Say goodbye to tobacco for better health, right? Design a braille board, notice board for visually impaired students. And the tenth one is quite interesting one, taking students back to school. The girl whom you are seeing in this image is the one who had lost interest. She was not ready to go to the school, but with the kind of interventions the student did, they motivated her, they motivated her parents, and they contacted some NGO to support her with her fees and other things. And at the end, she wrote on the book that I want to become school. And can we improve the environment of library of government schools? enhance communication skills of rural kids. So these are all the possibilities, right? Wherein we can really take up the problems and then give solutions using design thinking. Slow learners, teachers' biggest worry, alcoholism and individual health, right? And improve the sense of menstrual hygiene with the girl students, right? Increasing accessibility of the study materials to underprivileged students. See, increasing accessibility, the students develop the online library for them to make them accessible to certain resources. So these are some more examples wherein they developed using technology, they develop the learning tools to the children. This is the Braille board, right? This is Caesar gate walker for the people who had a problem at Monovikas Institute of India Nutrition. This is the Android Arduino blind stick, which was developed to the visually impaired. This is a filtration method. So, with all this discussion now, can students who are here on this platform can come out with their own list of problems which they normally observe in their day-to-day life? Just visualize, or maybe when you start moving around now from today, can you look at the situation around you and try to make a list of things where your intervention can be like I've just listed down here. See, the immediately what is visible to us, like overcrowding on the buses. So young couples unable to afford houses, bad online experience buying movie tickets, like unable to tackle an issue efficiently, backlog issues. And when customer complains, when has see there are many possibilities. So if you look around the world, which is really we live into, every step we have a lot of opportunities. So those opportunities are to be you know captured and then applied. But when I talk about, I was just to go on saying that design thinking, then what this design thinking is all about? This design thinking is nothing but it's a framework. It starts with empathy and ends with the prototype. Okay, so what it really helps us? How does it help us? It really helps us to simplify the complex social problems. So it helps us to simplify. How does it? How it will get simplified? It's by applying empathy, through which you are going to place yourself in the shoes of the sufferers and unlayering their problems. See, then you are going to get the clarity and then able to solve it. How it really happens, I'll tell you. It is, in fact, having 5 phases, right? The first one is empathy, what we have seen, and you have seen how empathy really works. And once we have the empathy, then we go to get the clarity about the problem we have identified by really talking to the stakeholders, right? The stakeholders are the one who are having the direct interest in those problems. For example, if you are working for the students about their communication problems, then students become your primary stakeholders, and teachers, the parents, the school authorities, and the society at large, all of them would become your secondary stakeholders. Then you need to really interact with them to understand the clarity about the problem you identified. And once you define your problem properly, then you go to identify multiple solutions. There are tools available which we should really, understand, apply, and then come out with the multiple solutions. Once your solutions are, done, then you should go in for the rating of those solutions and then come out with a unique solution for the problem you identified and go for prototyping. Prototyping is an earlier version of your final model, which you're going to do it and then test it take it to the society and test it with on the people who from where you had identified the problem, and then implement it and complete your journey. This is exactly what happens with design thinking. Of course, today I'm not going to take you into detail. In fact, I asked Madam Varsha to hold another workshop. In fact, we should have a workshop of 1 day. Either that can happen at your end, or you all can come to our place. Uh, uh, we should hold a workshop minimum of 1 day to in fact understand with the hands-on exercises. Today I'm just taking you through or orienting you through the process and the basic conceptual understanding of how this innovation really works, how this empathy becomes a strong foundation towards building a better solution, right? And to take up these phases, the mindset is very much essential. So first the mindset is you should be empathetic, and second one is show, don't tell. That means you should really become the action man, not the storytelling person, right? And you should be ready to experiment a lot, and you should pay attention to clarity, right? And then collaborate, and then action oriented. For this, I'll just give you one more example wherein how people really understood the people's pains, right? I'll just show explain you. There was one case wherein the it was about the patient who was there on the bed for long period. You know that people, if they are there on the bed for the pretty long period, they will develop bed sores. Okay, it's difficult to handle once the bed sores are really coming out. So it is necessary for us to change the bed sheet of such patients frequently. It was a challenge. It's very difficult for the people to understand when the bed sheet is to be changed. So the students came out with a very unique solution to this. They developed a small gadget, right, which was connected to the bed with the sensors in it. Once the moisture content of the bedsheet is go goes beyond a certain limit, it will give the alarm, and the attender can understand that it's a time to change the bedsheet, and they'll come and then change the beds. See, this is how, when I say paying attention to clarity, experiment, empathy, collaborate, this all would be the mindset of this person who would take up such problems. So, with the proper mindset, when we really attack the problems, the solution will be unique and most meaningful. So, if then what makes this design thinking a unique way of thinking? So, if I just compare design thinking with business thinking and creative thinking, see, creative thinking uses the right brain, and business thinking uses the left brain. But design thinking uses both the sides of the brain to solve the problems. So it's going to balance between the. That's why I said initially three circles: desirability, viability, and technical feasibility. So wherein we will be using all the both the sides of the brain to solve the problem. So in case of business thinking, we analyze and decide. We focus on analysis. Creative thinking, we focus on creation and expressions. But design thinking, we balance both and then look at the solutions. That's how the design thinking becomes a unique way of thinking. So now to recapture what we really discussed from the beginning, that initially we could understand what is the role of an engineer, what is the focus is on. Basically, the role of the engineer is to solve the societal problems in a unique way, because it's not just technology. We are responsible, or we are social change makers. And to get into that mode, we should really develop our own mindset. Our antenna should be always open on to the problems around us, and we should develop our own problem solving skills to address those issues. And so for that, we had taken a lot of examples of how this innovation framework really works, and how empathy becomes the strong foundation for all this process. And how we can use the design thinking principles to address these needs. That's what we could see in last 65 70 minutes, and now we are coming to end of the session. And then any questions, madam, you can maybe unmute a few students if they have any questions, or else they can type it in the chat box and then send me.
Yes,
And
yes, sir.
before conclude, I would like to again say that this is just a orientation class, right? We need to hold a day long workshop to understand all these pieces in detail. So maybe you can arrange for one day workshop to do that. So, any questions? The floor is open for discussion.
Yes, sir. I'll just ask the students. Hello. I would like to thank Dr. Sanjay Kotabagi sir for sparing his valuable time and giving us this enlightening, knowledgeable session. All the students, I'm sure they've made best use of this. And thank you once again, sir. I will now request Professor Sanjeev sir to kindly propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. I myself, Dr. Sanjay, Convenor of IIC. I'm very happy to give a vote of thanks. I sincerely thank Professor Sanjay Kotabagi, Dean Student Welfare, KLA Technological University, Hubballi, for accepting our invitation and giving a wonderful session on design thinking and innovation for our first year students. I sincerely thank to our JJI management for their continuous support. I thank to our beloved principal and director, Dr. J. Shivakumar, sir, who is supporting for all the activities when we established our IASSL. I must thank the event coordinators, Professor Varsha Gokak, Professor Sritej, and Professor Fateli, who are working continuously from last 15 days. I thank my faculty and student members for their active involvement in this session. Thank you once again, sir. It was a very, really a wonderful session. Sir, we hope that in future we'll have more interactions with you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
So with your permission, sir, shall I now end the meeting, sir?